well,
or
I guess...
is it afternoon?
I guess I did sleep a little late.
A little?
Well, with good reason. I mean, I was at headquarters till about 3 this morning. What's this mess here? Breakfast, maybe?
No, I'm practicing my technique for dinner tonight.
Ugh.
You know, this is homemade pasta. By the time I'm finished with this, I'm going to be a first-rate capo cuoco.
You always will, love. What's that?
It's a first-class gourmet chef. Read this ad. See this one? I saw it when I read it this morning.
Be a star.
You know what I think?
What?
I think that has something to do with that complaint that you were telling me about yesterday. What do you think?
You really want to know what I think?
Yeah, of course.
Stick to your pasta. Yeah, come in.
Hey.
Oh, Brian, good to see you.
I came over just as soon as you called.
Well, I appreciate that. How's Claudia?
Well, she'll be all right, considering.
You give her my best, will you?
I will.
Listen, the reason I asked you to stop by, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
Oh?
Yeah, apparently, Luke acted under the assumption that there was enough money in the city budget to pay Grant Putnam a weekly check for working with you.
Yes, we discussed it.
Well, unfortunately, it has not worked out that way. You see, the work he's doing is ostensibly volunteer work. And there's no money there for him.
Not at all?
None. I've checked through the several funding sources, and there's no money for Grant.
Did you get it?
Now, let's sit down, shall we?
Henry, what happened?
Look, now, there's no cause for alarm. Now, just relax. You know, I've been pulling strings left and right to get you a passport.
Are you saying that you couldn't get me one?
The American consulate is considering it, and they'll let us know.
Henry, there's nothing to consider. And what's the problem?
Well, we have to give these people a little time.
How much time? I have to get out of here. Henry, I want to go home.
Robert, I'm serious. Don't just brush it off. What is that?
Come on, Holly, look, give it a
Read it. Oh, never mind. Just listen. Be a star. Take 10 dancing lessons. Guarantee audition for Broadway show. And then there's a telephone number.
Okay, look. We've had a few complaints, a few calls. But you can't possibly rope that in with the ad there. I mean, what if it's legitimate? I mean, it probably is just what it says, a dance studio.
And it could be a lot more. I have a very definite feeling about this.
Well, I have a very definite homicide I've got to look into.
Oh, are you making any progress with that?
A little, but it's tough.
Oh, my. The pastor, they say if you leave it alone, it's going to get hard.
Huh? Hey, look. You're still making all this stuff here?
Yes. This stuff, your information, is going to be delicioso. That's Italian for out of this world.
Really? Well, as I'll be home for dinner, what are we having?
Very funny.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, that's another Italian
I
word.
know what
that
it means. Just get out of
Get
here.
out of here, right.
Find some company? I saw Robert on the way out. And he said,
Hi, Celia.
what are you doing? Don't tell me. You're opening an Italian restaurant.
Believe me, this can be very tricky. How's Grant?
Oh, he's okay. He's happy to be working anyway, at least temporarily.
Yeah, I can imagine. We won't better when we have something to do.
I know I am. Holly, I love my work. I get wrapped up in it, and all of a sudden the day's gone before I know it.
Well, I think it's wonderful that we all have something to do and something that we like, because that's very important, isn't it? I mean, take me.
You?
I could have a future as a pasta maker.
I have spent hours with the city budget director, Brian, and the man's right. We're going to have to cut back on a great many more programs than we thought.
I knew the budget was tight, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, now, we're going to pull it out. providing we save on all of those things that are not absolutely necessary.
The work Grant is doing is necessary, Lee.
Well, yes, I realize that, but in the past, it's always been done by volunteers that were not paid. Look, there is no provision for making that a salaried job.
Grant needs the income, as small as it is, and more importantly, it affects his pride.
Well, yes, I'm sure it does, but you know, as mayor, I deal with cold, hard cash. I mean, taxpayers' cash. Now, if Grant is having trouble making ends meet, needs an income, I'm afraid he's come to the wrong place.
The man's a doctor, Lee. You can't blame him because he doesn't want to stock shelves in the drugstore day in and day out.
Now, look, I don't mean to be hard-nosed about this. Maybe it goes with the job. But first, Grant Putnam is not a doctor. Not anymore. At least he is not licensed to practice here. And since you brought up his pride, maybe it's time he put that aside.
What do you mean?
Well, if things are as desperate as you say, the Quartermain family will surely take care of both him and Celia.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for Grant, but look at it from my point of view. I didn't recruit Grant just to boost his morale. Let's face it, I needed him. I was desperate.
Yes, well, I'm aware. You took over a department that was understaffed.
It was down to its bare bones. 2 clerks to do all the paperwork, 1 field officer. And I had to bring him back to keep up with the reports. Aside from Grant, I was the only other one to do the legwork, and I can't do that full time.
Sounds like it's really beginning to get to you.
I just want this department to be as effective as it can be.
I appreciate that, Brian.
And Grant was giving me the boost I needed.
Well, I'm sure he was.
Well, the bottom line is that it's impossible for me to do this work without a full-time assistant. Lee, what with my work at the hospital, plus the field works, I just can't do both jobs alone.
Look, Brian, I understand how invaluable Grant must have been to you. And I just hope you can find a volunteer who will replace him. Otherwise, I don't know what else I can say, except that you're going to have to make the obvious decision.
I think I know what you're leading to.
Look, Brian, I know this is hard. But you will have to decide just which job has the most value for you, this one or the one at the hospital. Because you're telling me you can't handle both.
What are you doing at City Hall?
Excuse me, I'm in a hurry.
I'm glad I caught you. These are the files you asked for.
Oh, thank you. That was nice of you. It saves me a great deal of time.
And this is your paycheck.
Thanks.
Oh, I stopped at accounting to get my own check, and since I knew I'd be seeing you, I picked up yours, too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks again.
No problem.
I don't believe it. You work here. This administration hired you?
Why don't you just lay off?
Not on your life. You're collecting a city paycheck.
Miss Templeton, read my lips. Get lost.
No way.
All right. Then do me this favor. Stay the hell out of my way.
I've sworn everyone to secrecy. Grant doesn't even know that we moved into the gatehouse yet.
When will he find out?
When he walks in the front door. Can't wait to see his face. I just wish I could be doing a little more for him. For the old days, we were going to San Moritz to go skiing.
Oh, where would I be? Who knows? You know, sometimes I think, wouldn't it be fun to go back to that one exciting adventure after another?
It's the way I felt when I got my trust fund money. It was all I could do to not spend the whole thing in one wonderful spree.
Why don't we?
Why don't we what?
Blow your trust fund. We could be in the Swiss Alps in 10 hours.
Hold me back. Surely you jest.
Unfortunately, yes, I do. But it's a lovely thought, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Holly, this is a rotten thing to say, but I hate saving and scrimping and planning every nickel. It's no way to live.
Do you and Grant really have to be that careful?
Definitely.
Well, what about your father? Hasn't he offered to help?
Yes, he offered. Grant refused.
Oh, dear.
So, I suppose things will just work out eventually. In the meantime, why don't you go shopping with me?
Buy something outrageous?
No. There's a white sale going on, and my trust fund money is just enough so that I can redo the gatehouse bedroom.
Well, as a matter of fact, I've been looking at the ads in the papers. There's some very good bargains.
I know. And that's a good thing because I want to do the whole kit and caboodle. I want to get sheets, pillowcases, shams, a table skirt, matching curtains, the whole works. Come with me?
I'd love to. And in fact, if there are any bath sheets on town, I might splurge and get a couple myself.
Does this strike you as funny?
Funny?
Yeah, the two of us. I mean, women with our backgrounds, sitting here talking about how to save money on sheets and towels.
It's funny. And at the same time, it's not funny at all.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Excuse me? Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Scorpio. Hello. How can I help you? Oh, yes, how nice to hear from you again. What? What can I do for you? One of those women from City Hall who has lots of causes and loves to hear herself talk. No, sorry, yes, of course. Fascinating, yes, just fascinating. What can I do? They want me to do a picture for the booklet, the beautification booklet. Yes, no, I think you do marvelous work, just marvelous. Of course, of course. Apparently Gail Baldwin and I are co-chairpersons.
Ooh.
Yes, well, we're both thrilled to help. We really would like to. Yes. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, would you excuse me? There's somebody at the door. I really have to get... I'll be right back to you. Thank you. Goodbye. Let's get out of here before she calls back.
Oh, yes. You know, you said that you didn't lead an exciting life, but imagine your picture on the cover of a Beautification Society magazine.
Imagine that. We can stop on the way to the sale if that's okay with you. I'll be 2 seconds. I'll get changed.
Okay.
Oh, how'd it go? She is in recovery. Surgery went on without a hitch.
Is that the 12-year-old?
Yeah, Angela. She's going to have a normal heart and hopefully live a normal and full life. Oh, I bet her parents are relieved. Yeah, Jessie, that's one of the rewards of being in this business. You get to see the faces when you tell them the good news. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to the cafeteria for a very late breakfast.
You deserve it, super surgeon.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Zimmer's autopsy just came out.
good. We've been waiting for it. Presence of pork and milk products in the stomach contents.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Definite presence of anaerobic spores.
Botulism. Charles, Rick, we've just been going over the autopsy report on Zimmer. Can you tell me what produced those anaerobic spores? I see. All right, how soon will you know? We're still testing.
Well, tell him stat. We had 3 more cases check in the last 2 hours.
The usual botulism symptoms occur between 12 and 36 hours from the ingestion of the contaminated material.
There are 6 strains, aren't there?
Mm-hmm. A through E. Mostly in this country, we have A, B, and D. The C and D are basically confined to animals.
What about F?
Well, strangely, that is usually confined to Denmark, but they are all different forms of food poisoning, and they can all be fatal.
Rick.
Bobby, a wheelchair, please.
What happened? What?
No, no. This is my girlfriend, Ginger Hopkins.
Yeah. Let's get her in the chair first, and you just go on, keep
She
talking.
called me from Olson's. That's a store over on St. Paul Avenue.
Yeah, what did she say when she called?
She sounded awful. She said she'd been throwing up a lot.
Did she have any dizziness?
Yes. I went right there, and she could barely stand up.
Okay, we're gonna take her to emergency, all right?
Yeah, so we better get the rest of our team. Anyone know where Alan is?
I'll find him.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, let's go. You're gonna have to do something for me, and I know you don't feel like it right now, but if you can tell me what you have eaten, let's start like last night. Tell me everything you eat. Okay?
Boy, is that another one?
Definitely.
Look, are you getting anywhere pinpointing this?
Well, we know exactly what they're eating, but none of what they eat seems to match up with what someone else is eating.
I mean, that's Mrs. Brewer. Yes, he is. Hold on. Rick. The lab.
Yeah, Charles, what do you have? That's what it is. Oh.
Well, no, that helps. It would keep at it, and will you keep me posted? Thanks very much. Well, this much is definite. As far as Zimmer is concerned, it's a packaged milk product.
Well, does that jive with whatever your patients have been saying?
It could. It very well could. Things are so general. I mean, there are, what, 10, 12 brands of packaged milk products, plus it could be packaged with something else.
Right.
Would you get Mrs. Zimmer for me, please? I hate to bother her again, but I've got to find out where she bought the food that she fed her husband.
Good luck.
Monica.
Oh, hi, Brian.
Do you have a minute?
Yeah, I do. You want to stand?
Mrs. Zimmer.
Okay.
Yes.
Boy, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Well, wearing two hats these days kind of keeps me on the run.
Yes, been meaning to ask you, how do you manage the hospital and City Hall?
Well, I tell you, I keep trying to find solutions. In fact, one of those solutions is giving me a big headache right now.
Oh, it wouldn't by any chance be Claudia wanting just a little bit of your time? I mean, as a husband?
No, this has nothing to do with Claudia. This is strictly job-related, and I need your input.
Wait a minute. What hat are you wearing at this point?
Right now, the Commissioner of Social Services, who unfortunately may have to...
Wait. If you're talking about City Hall... Oh, come on. I'm a bust at that. The only thing I do, Brian, is vote. When I have to, on Election Day, and pray.
This is personal, Monica. And believe me, I need your advice.
Well, I can't imagine what, but go ahead.
It's Grant Putnam.
What, Grant isn't working out?
No. He's a lifesaver.
Yeah, I thought
Thanks
he
to
would be.
him, I'm beginning to see some headway on the job. Up to now, the city has been paying him. It was a little, but at least it was a start.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, it's all blown out. I just found out.
What would happen?
Well, according to Lee, there just isn't enough money to pay Grant anymore, so it's a volunteer's job from here on out, just like it used to be.
Does, Grant know this?
Not yet, and I've got to tell him, and I can't imagine what this is going to do to his morale.
Not very much.
I know. I mean, can you think what I can do to say to him? I mean, for the life of me, I don't know what to say.
Maybe he won't have to say anything.
I just told you, he's no longer on payroll.
Yes, I know you did. On the city budget, that is. What if I paid his salary?
You? Oh, Monica, I didn't say that. I didn't tell you that with that in mind.
Brian, I know you didn't. I know that. Hear me out. What if I gave you a check? I mean, I paid his salary. Is there any way that you could pay him without him knowing that it came from me?
I can't think of how.
Well, there has to be some way. You could get a check from me, have that go through the city funds, somehow channel it that way. I don't know how, and have it go to Grant. Surely there has to be a way.
That's possible, I suppose.
Well, find out if it is.
Well, I can try.
Please do.
Well, I've got a few things to do here, but as soon as I do, I'll get back to Lee. But, Monica, are you sure you want to do this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm very sure.
Well, I don't really know what to say. Just thanks doesn't cover it.
No, thanks aren't even necessary. Lila Quartermain has always said that we all must be charitable. Lila Quartermain happens to be right.
Henry, why haven't we heard anything? It couldn't possibly take this long. Grant, we're dealing with government red tape. Listen, if I've learned anything as a lawyer, I know it can seem like forever.
Isn't there anything we can do to speed it up?
Well, I'm doing everything I can. Just be patient. And if I can make a suggestion.
Anything.
Why don't you use this time to compose your thoughts?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, you know, when you get back to the States, the government's going to want to be talking to you.
Talking to me about what? They already know the whole story?
But they haven't heard your version. I want to know if they missed anything, even the slightest detail.
Well, I don't know that there's much of anything I can add.
Well, you never will know until you organize your thoughts. And it's going to be more than just the government to think about.
You make this sound very foreboding.
No, Not at all. I just think it might be a good idea to take advantage of these moments to compose yourself. Now, prepare yourself for this flood of questions you're going to get from all the people in your past.
Yes, I will. In time.
Have you given any thought as to how you intend to deal with your new life? You know, what you're going to do? What do you want for yourself?
To tell you the truth, Henry, I haven't had time to think about anything except the fact that I want to go home.
I know, Grant. I understand. Maybe it's wrong for me to rush you. Maybe it's enough just to savor your freedom after all these years. Yes, sister?
Mr. Armistead, there's a telephone call for you.
Henry, this could be it.
We'll see.
This way, please.
Thank you. When we get back, you're to talk to a Mr. Jackson in the State Department.
Are you saying that we are going back?
Yes, Grant. It went through.
Oh, thank God. When, Henry? When do we leave?
You get your passport in London tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Now, they're still trying to reach Dr. Campbell, but they're sure that they'll get his okay in plenty of time. Congratulations, Grant. We can leave tomorrow.